You might be training consistently, eating what you would call a healthy diet and doing everything you should be doing, but you still feel exhausted, your recovery is poor, and your body just does not seem to be responding. The thing is, you can be eating healthy food and still not be eating enough for what you're asking your body to do. So in this video, I want to show you the pattern your body may be giving you before your answer becomes eating even less and training even harder. I'm Jermeel. I've been coaching women for more than 10 years across strength, nutrition, and different stages of women's health. And by the end of this video, you'll understand what undereating actually means, which signs matter when they start to appear together, what else could be causing them, and what you could do next without trying to diagnose yourself from a YouTube video. And there's one sign people use as proof that is much less reliable than they think. So when I talk about undereating, I don't just mean somebody eating a tiny amount of food. I mean there isn't enough energy coming in to support the training, the movement, the stress of daily life, and all the work your body still needs to do afterwards. There's two women. They eat the same amount of calories, 2,000 calories each, but they have very different needs because their bodies, their training, and daily activity are completely different. If we miss a meal in a day or that day's rushed, it's not major point. The concern is what happens if that mismatch keeps happening consistently, and that can affect how someone feels, how they perform, and then bodily functions as well. This can be done deliberately to miss meals. It could be done by accident because your lifestyle is quite fast, or you just forget to have it sometimes. A woman doesn't need to be on an extreme diet or have some sort of eating disorder to become underfueled. Say you were eating enough when you trained 3 times a week, then you added 2 runs, started walking more, and work became a bit more stressful, but your food stayed exactly the same. You may not be eating less than before. You are asking your body to do more with the same amount of support. So the better question is, not am I eating a low number of calories? It's, am I eating enough to support the life and training load that I currently have? And this is where a lot of active women miss it. Your food can look healthy without being enough. Those are not the same thing. So a busy professional or mum, they may not intentionally be dieting. Meals may run over, meals get delayed, things happen with the kids, training gets squeezed in, and then eating becomes whatever is left over around the edges. All while training, cardio, steps may have increased, while meals stay exactly at the same calorie intake. So restriction, it can start to feel normal. Saving calories for dinner. I'm going to earn the food that I'm eating at the weekend. I'm going to avoid carbohydrates, or I'm always going to choose the lowest calorie option. With these things, the change is often gradual. So low energy and poor recovery can get blamed on stress, or I'm just getting older, or I'm not being disciplined enough. Now the scale is part that catches a lot of people out. If your weight is stable, you might think, well, I can't possibly be undereaten. But the research on low energy availability shows that the body can stay the same weight while the body adapts elsewhere. So stable weight does not prove you are well fueled. The scale gives you context, it doesn't give you the diagnosis. Now, I don't want you to hear this next list and start diagnosing yourself. You feel tired, so it must be Readiness. Your period is late, so it must be undereating. This is not how it works. One symptom can be a clue. What matters more is when a few things start changing together compared with what is normal for you. So if you start to feel the energy is low, it's lower than normal, you feel a bit more colder, maybe the hands, the feet, you're feeling a bit more irritable, your mood is low, there's poor concentration, or there's disrupted sleep. It's a combination of things that, and you have to remember, it's what's normal to you for what has changed. There's no list that's going to say all these things and this is the issue. It's what's normal for me, what has slightly changed, and how much of these things have changed together. I like to think of these as dashboard lights. So if one light comes on, there could be a few different reasons, but if 3 or 4 lights appear after you've increased your mileage and you haven't added more fuel, you would not keep pressing the accelerator and hope it sorts itself out. You would stop and investigate. The pattern is the point. Do not turn the list into a diagnosis. Or sessions, they feel suddenly harder. The performance stalls or performance drops. The soreness hangs around longer than it should do, and your motivation starts to slowly drift away. Signs that I've seen when working with ladies is the anxiety around food. They come a bit more anxious, or there's guilt of eating or resting. There's compensatory exercise, purging, increasing rigid rules, or they feel they're unable to increase food even when their body is struggling to keep up. And if you're listening to this thinking, okay, is my food actually matching my training? I've linked my free energy availability calculator down below. It will give you an estimate and help you organize what is going on. But use it as a starting point, not a diagnosis. So for example, maybe you added 2 extra training days because fat loss had stalled. At the same time, work became busier, your lunch became smaller, and you started saving most of your food for the evening. So when things aren't going how you want them to go, I always say we don't need to dig any further to try and find a problem. You do not need to automatically cut food or add more cardio just because progress feels a little bit slow. Nothing is on a linear curve and it goes down or up just in a straight line. Sometimes there's a stall. So with things like this, we need to make eating more consistent. Reduce the long gaps created by work, training, building meals and snacks that can fit around your day. The bigger one is we want to fuel our work. Use carbohydrates before a hard session, and then you want to replenish the energy that you use in that session with carbohydrates and then protein afterwards to build the muscle, maintain the muscle. While looking at total food across the day, don't hide behind protein. It's very important. But even a high protein diet can still be low in energy and carbohydrate for the work being done. So for yourself, watch the whole pattern for 2 to 4 weeks. Let's look at energy, training, recovery, sleep, cycle, injuries, flexibility, everything around food. Don't wait for a red flag before it needs attention. Get qualified support if patterns continue or worsens, or if it's complicated by a health condition, injury, and especially a difficult relationship with food. So the goal is not for you to eat as much as possible or to stop training or give up on fat loss. The goal is to give your body enough support to train well, recover properly, protect your health, and pursue fat loss without everything else paying the price. The body is not betraying you. It is giving you information. And if a plan only works when you keep ignoring that information, then the plan needs to change, not your discipline. In the next video, I'll show you how to tell whether you are generally training too hard or simply recovering too little, because those can feel exactly the same but need very different solutions. Subscribe, watch the next video when it's live, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.